Sir, very happy morning to all. Sir, as you all know that we are doing computation of GST payable. In that process, actually, we are stuck in illustration number 9. Because illustration number 9, adjustment specifically discussing about cost petroleum and profit petroleum. Without knowing what is cost petroleum and profit petroleum and its relevant circular, we can't do this question. That's why I've done a separate video on cost petroleum and profit petroleum. When we come down, we are having another adjustment called as ERCC. Sir, services provided by state government to the ERCC by way of assignment of right to collect the excess royalties exempt from GST. Sir, but that exemption is having a restriction or condition, which is a futuristic condition. That futuristic condition has been tested in this question. That's why I have done prerequisite number 2 to solve this question. Now, in order to solve this question, one more prerequisite is needed. I'll be reading, man. Sukhdev, being an operating member in mining and exploration services at Bombay High, has provided certain services to the joint venture in which he is also a participant. He believes that consideration received from the joint venture is cost petroleum and not taxable. This is what adjustment number 1. As we all know that in order to attract GST, first an activity or transaction should become a supply. We are having only 4 sections are there. Section 7, subsection 1, clause A. Supply includes all forms of supply of goods or services or both, such as sale, barter, transfer, exchange, license, lease, rental or disposal, made or agreed to be made for a consideration by a person in the course or furtherance of business. As per section 7, subsection 1, clause AA, activity or transaction by any person other than an individual to its members, constituents, or vice versa for cash, defer payment, or other valuable consideration is a supply. So, my dear lovable students, there is a joint venture, and sir, there is members to the joint venture. So, there is a joint venture, and this joint venture is having member number 1, member number 2, member number 3. If any service has been provided by joint venture to the member or member to the joint venture, this will amount to supply under section 7, subsection 1, clause AA or not is a question to be answered. Because all the conditions which are stipulated by 7, subsection 1, clause AA are satisfying. Like activity or transaction by a person. Yes, sir. Joint venture is a person because it's an association of person or body of individual to its members, constituents, or vice versa for cash, defer payment, or other valuable consideration is a supply. So the question to be answered is, if joint venture provided any service to its members, will it amount to supply or not? If member provided any service to venture, will it amount to supply or not? This has been clarified by circular number 35 bar 2018 on 5/3/2018. So, as a background for this Sukhdev question, I am solving the third background video. Then I will be solving the main question. I can promise you that there is no more background video because you have to get a fantastic understanding of sir cost petroleum and profit petroleum. And number 2 is the concept of ERCC, and the third one, JV agreement. Taxable services provided by members of the joint venture to the joint venture and vice versa, inter-C between the members of joint venture. That is the clarification given by the department by way of circular. What they are saying is, if the service has been provided by the JV to the member or member to the JV, will it amount to supply or not, is what the clarification given. What is joint venture first? What is joint venture? Joint venture is an unincorporated temporary association, like association of persons or body of individual, constituted for the limited purpose of carrying out a specific project within a specific time frame. A comprehensive examination of various JV agreement hold the key to understanding of the taxation of transaction involving taxable service between the JV and its members or inter se between the member of the JV. So how the circular is starting is that, sir, joint venture means an unincorporated temporary association constituted for the limited purpose of carrying out a specified project. We can't, every joint venture, we can't say that any services provided by the joint venture to the member or member to the joint venture is taxable. First of all, the circular is starting with a wording that we have to read every joint venture and we have to understand what are the terms and conditions of the joint venture. Then only we can say that whether services provided by the joint venture to the members or members to the joint venture will tantamount to supply or not. First, understand the joint venture. So, joint venture being an unincorporated temporary association constituted for the limited purpose of carrying out specified project within a time frame. A comprehensive examination of various JV adjustment hold the key to understand of the taxation of transaction involving taxable service between the JV, that means one JV to another JV, and its members, between the members, or inter se between the members of a JV. So in order to say whether the transaction is going to be taxable or not, we have to understand the JV. Number two, so the circular is giving you a solution. Supply of services by JV to members. JV is providing some service to members regarded as supply, so they are finalized. Supply of services by an unincorporated association or body of person to a member thereof for cash, defer payment, or other valuable consideration shall be treated as supply of service. That means if any service has been provided by JV to its members as per section 7 subsection 1 clause AA, any activity or transaction other than a individual to its members, constituents, or vice versa should be treated as supply. So circular clarified that. Now circular is taking some supporting. So the above entry in schedule 2 is analogous to and draws strength from the provisions of Article 366 of the Constitution, according to which a tax on sale or purchase of goods includes a tax on supply of goods by any unincorporated association or body of person to a member thereof for cash, defer payment, or other valuable consideration. When this circular was coming in 2018, my dear lovable students, when you check schedule 2, this was one of the item, but now they have removed this item from the schedule 2 and then only they incorporated 7 subsection 1 clause AA, because everyone were having a doubt that, my dear lovable students, whether services provided by sir AOP or BOI to its members, whether it is taxable or not. Yes, this item was separately included in schedule 2 earlier, but now this has been removed. Then only they have added 7 subsection 1 clause AA. It was a new addition. Fine, fantastic to the core. So earlier when this act come, they were supported this. Now, supply between joint venture and members or members inter se liable to GST. So here what clarification they have given is, if any service has been provided by the joint venture to its members should be treated as supply as per section 7 subsection 1 clause AA. Now question arises, what is a reverse, sir? Even that reverse also liable to GST. Service supplied by members of unincorporated JV to the JV or the other members of the JV or by JV to the members for a consideration are liable to GST. So they have clarified that if any service has been provided by JV to its members should be treated as supply, and any service has been provided by the members of the JV to the JV should be treated as supply and it should be liable to tax. Now, one new concept, cash call or capital. Is it a mere flow of money taxable if by way of advance towards supply? So they're particularly clarifying one situation called as cash call. Cash call in the sense means cash calls are raised by the operating member of the JV. For example, in a joint venture, 5 members are there. Member 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, member 3 is the person who are operating that JV. On the other member, in proportion to their participation interest in their JV, unincorporated to meet the expenditure of the operation to be carried out as per the approval work program and budget. My dear lovable students, for example, we are 5 people are entering into JV. We are going to do a particular business or particular job. Sir, member number 3 is going to undertake the JV operation. Then such a person is called as operating member. Sir, to run the JV business, for example, 100 crores is needed. 5 people are there. From every member, this operating member will collect 20 crore. It is called as what called cash call. He will call for cash. Give me cash. 20 crore, 20 crore, 20 crore, 20 crore, 20 crore. We'll put 100 crore and we will do the next step of the joint venture. Sir, whether that is taxable or not is a question. Sir, payment out of cash call for supplies are liable to GST. Sir, payment made out of cash call a joint venture towards taxable services received from a member or a third party is in the nature of consideration and hence attract GST. What a clarification. What they're saying is, when you are collecting this 20 crore, 20 crore, 20 crore, 20 crore, 20 crore from the members of the JV to the JV, this is just a capital contribution. Both definition of goods and services excludes money. Hence, my dear lovable students, you are not supposed to pay GST on that. But now the money is available with the JV. From this money, if JV is paying to member or to any other outsider to get a service, it will become consideration. Once it becomes consideration, it is liable to GST. We'll give you 2 examples, man. Taxability of cash call can be further explained by the following. Example number 1. There are 4 members in a JV, joint venture, including the operating member. That means one of the members is an operating member. And each one contribute rupees 100 as a part of their share. A total amount of rupees 400 is collected because 100 rupees everyone is going to give 100, 100, 100, 100, 400 rupees. The operating member purchases machinery for 400 for the JV to be used in oil production. That means the operating member is going to buy a machine by giving this 400. Sir, it will not be subject matter of GST for the reason that operating member is not carrying an activity for a consideration. That means that 400, receipt of 400 by the JV will not be subject to GST because that is just a cash call, that is just a capital contribution. Conclusion, money paid for purchase of machinery is merely nature of capital contribution and therefore it's a transaction in money. Sir, for that machinery, GST is there. I'm not saying that for that machinery that GST is taxable or exempted. That itself is not the issue. The issue is, my dear lovable students, when the members of the JV is contributing to the JV, if it is by way of cash call, that is by way of capital contribution, then it will not be taxable. Sir, example number 2, this will give double, triple clarity. There are 4 members in JV, including the operating member, and each one contribute rupees 100 as a part of their share. A total amount of 400 is collected. So totally 400 rupees collected. Operating member thereafter uses its own machine. Operating member uses their machine for the JV. So service provider is operating member and service recipient is JV. For that, JV is supposed to pay consideration to the operating member and perform exploration and production activity on behalf of the JV. The operating member uses its own machinery and is thereof, therefore, providing service within the scope of CGST Act. This is because in this scenario, The operating member is recovering the cost appropriated towards machinery and services from other JV members in their participating interest ratio. So this will amount to supply. So operating member, he himself using their own machinery, for that the JV is supposed to pay the consideration. If that consideration is collected from the other members of the JV, that is a consideration for the supply provided by the operating member to the JV. This is what has been written here. Cash calls are raised by operating member of the joint venture on other member in proportion to their participating interest in the joint venture to meet the expenditure on the operations to be carried out as per the approval, work program and budget. That means if the JV is collecting the cash call as a capital contribution, it will not be treated as supply. But if the cash call has been called by the operating member for a consideration for any services provided by the operating member to the JV, it will be treated as supply, is what the clarification is saying. With this circular background, now you read the first part, the clarity will be very level. Sukhdev being an operating member in mining and exploration services at Mumbai High. So they have put into a JV, joint venture for exploration. In that, Sukhdev is one of the operating member. Fine, fantastic to the core. Has provided certain services to the joint venture. Fine. So just now we studied that if any member has provided services to JV, it should be treated as supply and it is liable to GST, in which he is also a participant. Fine, he is one of the member, he is also a participant. So service provider is Sukhdev and service recipient is joint venture. For that, Sukhdev is going to get some consideration. He believes that consideration received from JV is cost petroleum and not taxable. Sir, cost petroleum is applicable to the joint venture, not to the Sukhdev. Because for the joint venture, from the total petroleum, if they reduce the cost petroleum, they will get the profit petroleum. For Sukhdev, whatever services he has provided to the joint venture, it will fall under section 7, subsection 1, clause AA. Sir, services provided by any activities or transaction by any person other than an individual to its members, or sir, vice versa, should be treated as supply. So for this 12 lakh, this is not a part of cost petroleum. If you are having any doubt in cost petroleum, I've explained a specific video on cost petroleum. Sir, these are the three prerequisite to understand this question. So what they are saying, consideration for service provided as an operating member to the JV. That's the issue. The operating member is providing the mining and exploration services to the joint venture. That means here the service provider is the Sukhdev. He is a member of joint venture. He provided services to joint venture. This is a supply under section 7, subsection 1, clause AA, which has been clarified by government through notification to the joint venture. And thus the consideration received, therefore, is not cost petroleum. Cost petroleum is applicable to the JV. Cost petroleum is not applicable to the member who have provided services to the JV and hence liable to tax. So for this 12 lakh, my dear lovable students, he is supposed to collect CGST, sir, 1,08,000 and SGST 1,08,000. Actually, before I solve this question, I have done 3 prerequisite video. One is video number 3 is JV, sir, circular based on joint venture. And one video I have done, this is cost petroleum, video number 1 on cost petroleum. And also I have talked a video on, sir, ERCC, sir, excess royalty collection contractor. This is my video number 3. Once you see all the video, and this is the 3rd video, once you see all the video, then in the coming slot, I will be completing question number, sir, 9, which is Sukhdev is a minor engineer question without giving any background for this. I believe that you have understood the JV circular in a very well way. If it is a new information or if you have understood very well, inform your happiness by way of comments. And if any area to be addressed from my side, please inform me by way of your comments. If time permits, surely I will look into that, my dear lovable students. Still, we are having lot of time. Plan your time properly and use the computation of GST payable. Nearly 20 question has been uploaded in the workbook and nearly I'm in the 10th question. So utilize those videos for your preparation. If it's helpful, inform me by way of comments. We'll meet at the appropriate time. Thank you. Bye bye from here.